Hello and welcome back to the RattleUp podcast. Today is Sunday, June 23rd. It is 11 p.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern, and welcome back. I'm your host, Chris. Got a lot to go over for you today. Just a lot to go over. Just gonna go over a quick recap first. Overall, it's been a tough week. Not any wins at all. We are 0-6 in our last 0-6 in our last games. So yeah, it's been tough. They're bad. They can't win at home. It's just a lot of struggles recently. Team morale must be down, but overall, not good. So today is the last game against the Giants, and tomorrow is the start of the new series. But today at 1:10, the Diamondbacks are facing off against the Giants at home. Merrill Kelly up against Anderson. Should have no problem here, but we should have beat him the last week, so you never know. So first we're going to just recap last week's game that happened Sunday while we were recording the last week's podcast. Very bad game. They started Archie Bradley, then Zach Godley came in, then Crichton and Joseph. Every pitcher gave up 4 or more runs except Joseph, who threw a third of an inning. Bradley only goes 1 1/3, giving up 4 runs. Godley goes 4 2/3, giving up 6 runs. Crichton goes 1 2/3, giving up 5 runs. We did put up 5 runs, but that obviously wasn't enough. Sanchez gives up 2. Rainey gives up 1, and Sip gives up 2. Only 1 earned, though. Our offense today came from Ketel Marte, Eduardo Escobar, Carson Kelly, Adelmo Vargas, and Nick Ahmed. Not good at all. 5 runs should be enough to beat any team in the league, but when your pitching is Bradley and Godley, you're never going to be winning. So last Monday, the 17th, was an off day, so we could travel home to start off a 9-game home stand. Merrill Kelly goes 6 innings, gives up 6 runs, and TJ McFarland goes 2 innings, giving up 2 runs, and Matt Andriese goes a scoreless inning. Nick Sensatella goes for the Rockies 6 2/3, giving up only 1 run. So final score of 8-1. Our only one run was produced by David Peralta. So yeah, not good. David Peralta is our only run with only 1 hit in that game and 2 walks. But so 8-1 was the final score. Really, really bad that game, and that was the second in a row. And then the 6-4 loss against the Rockies on Wednesday, the 19th. That game was started by Greinke, who goes 7 innings, 5 runs, and Chafin, who gives up a run in an inning. Lopez then throws a scoreless inning. John Gray, Brian Shaw, and Wade Davis all give up 1 run, and Scott Oberg goes 1 2/3 scoreless. The Diamondbacks' runs were produced by David Peralta, Nick Ahmed, Zach Greinke, and Kevin Crone. Kevin Crone hit a home run in this game, and so not a good game, of course. That's 3 in a row. Then on the Thursday, the 20th, was another 6-4 loss back-to-back 6-4 losses. Robbie Ray gives up 3 runs in 6 innings, which isn't bad. It's probably his best start so far this season, one of the best starts. Hirano gives up 2 runs in the 10th inning to lose the game. Scott Oberg, Diaz, and McGee all go scoreless innings for the Rockies. Estevez, Bettis, and Hoffman all give up runs. The runs today came from the middle of the order. Peralta, Escobar, and Christian Walker had 2 with a home run. So then moving into the first game of the Giants series, which was probably the worst game so far, in my opinion, on the big losing streak. This game was started by Taylor Clark, who I think is not a good option. He should probably be sent down if we had any more starting pitchers. Luke Weaver needs to be back soon, because he's probably one of our best starters this year. But, yeah, not good overall. Taylor Clark gives up 6 runs in only 3 innings. McFarland gives up 2 runs in 3 innings. Andrius gives up 2 runs in 2 innings, and Bradley gives up 1 run in 1 inning. But yeah, pitching sucked today, or on that day. 11 runs. They score 5 runs again. When you're pitching the Major League pitching, you should be able to win if you get 5 runs, but nope. So Jeff Samardzija gives up all 5 runs in the 6 innings pitched. Moranta, Watson, Rodriguez, and Smith all come in through scoreless parts of innings. The runs today came from Ketel Marte, Ladermo Vargas, Adam Jones, and Nick Ahmed, who had 2 RBIs off of a home run. Not a good game, of course. And then moving into the most recent game yesterday, 4-7. This game was awful. Again, this is, how many in a row is this loss-wise? This is our 6th loss in a row. 7-4. We had the lead 3-0 in the first inning, and then Zach Godley comes in, gives up 2 runs in the second, 3 runs in the third, and that was the game. Godley goes 4 innings, giving up 5 runs, and Bradley goes 1 inning, giving up 2 runs. Crichton and Hirano both go scoreless 2 innings. Bede gives up all 4 of the Diamondbacks' runs in 4 innings pitched. And then Gott, Melanson, Dyson, Watson, and Smith all go scoreless innings. The runs yesterday were produced by Adam Jones, Christian Walker, and those were the only RBIs from that game. Just checking the scoring summary for the game. The other runs were Eduardo Escobar stole home, and Eduardo Escobar grounded into a force out to score Peralta. So, bad game, and it was not good. A lot of this has just been bad. But there's nothing you can really do when your pitching is I don't even know, but just terrible. Honestly, this team could probably lose to their AAA team. They're so bad. But what are you gonna do? This team's never been known for their pitching. I don't think they've recently have even, but just gonna go into a standings update. Diamondbacks fell way under 500 this season, and they also dropped into 4th in their division. In my opinion, they might have the worst pitching in the division. Their offense hasn't been performing, so right now the division leaders are Atlanta Atlanta, Chicago, Los Angeles, and then LA. They are New York, Minnesota, and Houston. Just going into more in depth in the NL West standings. The Dodgers are 53 and 25. The Rockies are 40 and 36. The Padres are 38 and 39. The Diamondbacks 38 and 40. And the Giants are 33 and 42. Currently, the playoff picture is Milwaukee is holding the wild card game one. Has home advantage in the wild card game. Colorado and St. Louis are currently tied for that spot. And then the Diamondbacks are 3 games back, the Phillies 1 game back, and the Padres 2.5. Currently, the playoff picture for the NL would be Los Angeles against the wild card winner, and then Atlanta hosting Chicago. So, going to move into previews for this next week. We have 4 more home games and then 4 away games. Today's game is against the Giants. Merrill Kelly against Sean Anderson. Should win this one pretty easily. Merrill Kelly has been strong recently. He had a rough outing last time, but he should be able to hold his own. And then another sweep coming up for the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are playing the Dodgers. The first start time is 6. All 3 start. Monday and Tuesday are 6:40 start times, Arizona time, and then Wednesday is an early game for travel at 12:40. Okay, so then they fly out to San Francisco, 6:45 on Thursday, 7:15 on Friday, 7:05 on Saturday, and 1:05 on Sunday. The Diamondbacks start at 1:10 today, so the podcast will be way over by that time, but you can tune in normal places. I'm just going to go over the All-Star lineups now, because why not? So the finalists for the All-Star game, at catcher you have Robinson Chirinos, James McCann, and Gary Sanchez. In the NL, you have Wilson Contreras, Yasmani Grandal, and Brian McCann. First base AL, CJ Cron, Carlos Santana, and Luke Voigt. NL, Josh Bell, Freddie Freeman, Anthony Rizzo. Second base, you have the AL as Jose Altuve, Tommy La Stella, and DJ LeMahieu. NL, Ozzie Albies, Ketel Marte, Mike Moustakas. Shortstop AL, Carlos Correa, Jorge Polanco, Gleyber Torres, and then NL, Baez, Story, and Swanson. Third base, Bregman, Dozier, and Urshela. NL is Arenado, Bryant, Donaldson. And then in the outfield for the AL, Mookie Betts, Michael Brantley, Joey Gallo, Aaron Judge, Austin Meadows, Josh Reddick, Eddie Rosario, George Springer, and Mike Trout. And then NL is Ronald Acuna, Albert Almora Jr., Cody Bellinger, Charlie Blackmon, Jason Hayward, Nick Markakis, Jack Peterson, Kyle Schwarber, and Christian Yelich. The DH for the AL's finalists are Nelson Cruz, JD Martinez, and Hunter Pence. I'm just going to go through and name a few players that I think should do not deserve their spots on this team, on the All-Star team. Brian McCann, I think there's definitely more. I definitely think there's better choices, way better choices, and actually the starting pitchers to come out today. I forgot to mention that. Brian McCann is just, if he wasn't on the Braves, he wouldn't be voted. The first base choices are pretty solid. Josh Bell, I definitely think deserves to start. He definitely does. He's the best starter. He's the best first baseman by far this year. Ketel Marte should definitely be starting at second base. I definitely think he's the best one. Shortstop, I feel like they're all good picks. I feel like they all deserve it. And then third base is where I think there's some stuff that they messed up. Urshela should not be in there. If he was a Diamondback, he wouldn't have even finished top 10, or maybe have finished top 10, but wouldn't be that close. And then in the outfield, it's where you really get into the ridiculous picks that show why fan voting sometimes doesn't make much sense.